even the soles of your sneakers. So the next time you see someone using a product made from Texas oil, you'll know where it comes from. Oil is an example of a natural resource, which is something found in nature that people can use. The vast land area of Texas contains many valuable natural resources, including natural gas. Natural gas is a fuel that is burned to heat people's homes and water, and is also used for cooking. Natural gas deposits are often found within oil fields, and the gas is transported around the nation by pipelines. Because it has a unique combination of natural resources, Texas has become a major industrial center. It has lots of fuels to power factories and lots of raw materials to make things from. Today, Texas companies make all kinds of things, from cars and airplanes to chemicals and cement. Cities along the coast have access to the ocean, so they can ship Texas products around the world. Coastal cities, like Galveston and Port Arthur, are very busy ports. A port is a trading center where goods are loaded and unloaded. These cities are also where the Texas fishing industry is located. Shrimp is the #1 seafood product from the Gulf of Mexico. Crabs, oysters, snapper, and tuna are also important.
Alicia, I want a fishing dock in Galveston. Guess what? The city is on an island. Isn't that cool? You'd never guess that Galveston was once pretty much wiped out by a hurricane.
A hurricane is a storm with heavy rainfall and strong winds. Hurricanes can cause high waves, damaging coastal towns and cities. The hurricane of 1900 was one of the worst natural disasters in U.S. history, and it took years to rebuild the Texas coastline. In order to protect the city from future storms, people in Galveston built a big seawall facing the Gulf. Now it's much better protected from the storms that often hit the coast. Galveston is just one of the places in Texas that's on an island, a barrier island, which is a low, sandy island close to the coast. These islands can get some very severe weather. It's not much calmer inland. Because of the large flat landscape of the Central and Great Plains, Texas is one of the states most likely to be hit by tornadoes. A tornado is a funnel-shaped, spinning windstorm that moves along the ground. Texas is so big that places across the state have very different climates. The areas along the coast stay warm and rainy all year round. Farther to the west, the Central Plains get less rain and are hot in the summer and cooler in the winter. And to the north, the Panhandle region is very dry and can get cold.
Alicia, it seems like everything here in Texas is big. This is Big Bend National Park, and some really big dinosaurs roamed here millions of years ago. Did you know that Texas even has a state dinosaur? It's a long-necked sauropod called Pleurocoelus.
My name's Timothy Rowe, and I'm a paleontologist, and paleontologists study ancient life forms. The Dino Pit here was built to give the kids of Austin a flavor for the kinds of fossils that they can really find in their own backyards. The Dino Pit has replicas of fossils that were actually excavated by paleontologists, and the kids can come out here to the Dino Pit and they can discover for themselves many of the different kinds of animals that lived here in Texas. If you go back about 100 million years, you'd see that Texas was covered by a shallow sea. And And most of Texas was home to sea creatures. Over the long duration of geological time, the seas gradually retreated and the land emerged, and land animals moved into Texas. One of the fields that we study as paleontologists is the field of geography. And in order to discover bones, you have to go to the right kinds of places where animals once lived and where they can be discovered. So knowing the geography of Texas, we go to where there are deserts, and the grasses are gone, and we see the real bedrock. When we go into the field to hunt for dinosaurs, some of the clues that we find, instead of being gigantic bones, are in fact tiny pieces of bone, such as this tooth. That meant we have part of the front of the skull, part of the front of the animal, its face. And here we have a vertebra, it's part of the backbone. And by seeing all these pieces in the same area, we discovered that there was a giant skeleton buried very close by. Our interest is in reconstructing the past and understanding what happened many millions of years ago. And I'm very lucky to live here in the state of Texas, one of the greatest places to live and to work and to hunt for fossils.
While once a large number of dinosaurs lived in the Texas area, now a large number of people live here. With more than 21 million inhabitants, Texas is second in population only to California. Some people in Texas live in rural areas, in the country, on ranches, farms, and in small towns. Many people live in urban or city areas, like Houston or El Paso. Texas has several metropolitan areas, which are large cities combined with their suburbs. Suburbs are communities just outside of a city. The area that includes the cities of Dallas and Fort Worth, and their suburbs such as Irving and Arlington, is an example of a metropolitan area in the state. Because Texas borders Mexico, many Texans have roots there.
Now you're talking. The people here are speaking my...
Hold up. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias.
Hola, my name is Isabel, and I live in Austin, Texas, which is the capital of the state. My family came from Mexico a long time ago, just like lots of other people in Austin. I go to a school where my classes are in both English and Spanish. I like to go to the huge parade on Texas Independence Day on March 2nd every year. That's the date when Texans declared independence from Mexican control. My dad works right near the Capitol building at the end of Congress Avenue in the governor's office. At the other end of Congress Avenue is one of my favorite things about Austin, Town Lake. There's even a trail that goes around it that you can walk or ride bikes on. It gets really hot here, so to beat the heat, my friends and I spend a lot of time at the Barton Springs pool. The water that feeds the pool comes from deep underground, so it is nice and cool all year round. So even if it's really hot outside, it's cool here. Speaking of cool, if you time it right and are on the trail near the Congress Avenue Bridge around sunset, you might see thousands and thousands of bats. They live under the bridge during the day. At night, they go out to eat bugs. Isn't that cool? I think that one of the best parts about living in Austin is that you can be outside the whole year round, doing all kinds of fun things.
Hey, Alicia, check this out. I've got on my jeans, my belt buckle, and my hat. Now all I need is a horse.
Miguel, you might be dressed like a real cowboy, but have you ever been on a real horse?
When most people think of Texas, they think of cowboys and big ranches. cowboy gear is a necessity for